Oh God, actually I take it back. Ash, I presume you have not actually been keeping along with the Kipley uploads, right? I gotta
No,
say
I've
Kipley
been
uploads instead
getting
of Megan.
murdered. These streets are rough. I'm totally
Cool.
in the dark.
You haven't been here for like 3 sessions, so
Oh my god! You can't see it, but I just hit that choking emote.
I'm gonna do an extended recap then. I
I'm
will
sorry,
be
you guys.
skipping details because a lot happened. So,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
the last thing that you remember, you were at least there with the fight with the goblins, right?
Yes, I
Out in
was.
the
We were
plains?
in the
Okay.
basement of that motherfucker who was supposed to be the chief, and like literally everyone was dead but
Perfect.
Mammoth.
Okay. Good. So we went and followed the Savagers to their base camp, which was named the Forgotten Hollow, and they introduced you to their chief after you took a brief rest. During that rest, that's where you got to meet. That's right, you did actually get down there because you got to meet the shepherd. Duran got to meet this strange old lady. And everyone was about doing their own little mini tasks. But when it actually came to meeting the elder, you were introduced to a creature called Malar, a very bestial, more ape-like creature that certainly did not seem to be friendly. Conversation was engaged briefly, but as you could have guessed, a wild beast and you stepping inside of their den didn't seem to go well. And Kipley was already trying to get out the door, but before the conversation even ended. And surprised, it was locked. But as you would find out later in that session, it wasn't locked. The three Savagers, who were the ones that introduced you to this tribe and to this group of people, were actually holding the door shut, all while in a rage, and just continuously doing athletics checks to keep it held, at least as close to a seal as possible. Um, you later found out that this was part of a trial, a ritual of which the Savagers, when coming across powerful individuals, or at least those who merited respect of the land, would provide them with a meeting with Malar, and based on how he either respected them as individuals, respected them as beings of great power, or just had a inkling of potential, he would either let them live or he would kill them. A very brutal and, in almost like it's in the name, savage way of living. You guys did brief bit of combat. Mammoth got eaten / cut in half. And concerningly so, only Kipley was the one that actually saw what happened to him. I think it's funny if I don't tell you, but I will just for fun's sakes, because I did describe it to everyone else. When Mammoth was chomped in half from the waist down, his instead of being healed through regular magic, a strange figure appeared. It's kind of older, cloaked individual with a long beard. And not only did they defend the party by whacking Malar on the top of the head and seemingly knocking him out for a brief period of time, but they slammed their staff into the ground with a little bit of a tap. And Mammoth's body didn't heal or be molded back together. The horrifying process described to through only Kipley's eyes, of which she has not shared with the party yet, is that Mammoth's body liquidated and then reformed, almost like it was made of a very wet clay. With that disturbing detail, moving on, you guys ended up breaking out of like Father like son. You guys ended up breaking out of the entrapment. Durdon straight up won a 1 versus free contest as I averaged the Savager's rolls, and he got an insane like 29 on an athletics check. Not a single one of them got above 22 or 21. So he just broke the door and let you guys free, and they explained that once you had stepped out alive and they had saw that you had done battle with Balar and seemingly won from their perspective, that you guys had proved yourself as Savagers, and you were welcome to their ranks and under their protection for as long as you wanted and needed. And we're trying to make not as much of a scene as they were friendly, but also if you kept attacking them, 100% could have left to combat. Wouldn't go very well considering that 3 out of the 4 of you hadn't long rested yet. You decided that you were going to stay the night, of which some got a very restless sleep, others just got a regular long rest. And you had some questions in the morning. Mammoth learned a little bit about himself, mainly just confirming what you already knew, and the fact that Balar knew about the Druids of the Stars, and specifically you in general. Or at least he knew what he thought was either a part of you, inside of you, something that you could not see beforehand. He referenced you as the child of the comet, referenced that the massive reptilian kind of monster that was eating the stars in the past was in fact not something that could physically be fought even by the likes of him, after it was revealed that yes, he was in fact once a lesser god and was left here to rot essentially after the majority of the upper planes, or the upper deity, excuse me, retreated to the outer planes, or some being banished, some being killed, etc., etc. He essentially explained he wasn't deemed a threat or a large enough risk to the world to be removed, and therefore was just kind of left to do with what he will, and this is where he has found sanctuary in between. He also mentioned that he had fell to kind of a madness after being trapped on this plane, with everyone forgetting his name, forgetting his domain, and his purpose, and that his meeting with Mammoth seemed to clear his thoughts and help somewhat aid him in either recovering or at least seeing a portion of himself that he did not see before. He explained that the Ironwood Thicket, the grove that you were heading to next, was extremely dangerous because they are not welcome to outsiders, and that Durdon should be even more careful than usual, as even though it was in a different time, the smell of blood does not wash off very easily, and while he hasn't killed all of the druids of your time, he has killed a number of them, and at least his people has participated in essentially as close to as you can get a genocide of all of the druids that were from his home island, and also those who moved to that island. So he essentially said that he would have to be careful, along with everyone else, of course, as the protector of the grove was in fact the creator of the first circle. And that's why you learned, Mammoth, that the word that you could not read was in fact a more common-based word for the word primal. The primal circle, first circle, circle of primordials. Many different translations could be had, but you at least got the most basic understanding of it being called the first circle. Dwells there, and they're not exactly open to outsiders. They have not opened up their encampment. As you know, a lot of groves tend to be kind of more kept to themselves, as shown with the Circle of the Serene. But this is at a different level, especially in a more dangerous area like the Ironwood Thicket. But he essentially said that for you specifically, it wouldn't be that high of a task to get in, because the runic pattern that is displayed in Druidic throughout the forest would help guide you to the entrance. And from there, an incantation in Sylvan would really be the only thing needed to open the door. Whether you'd be accepted on the other side, separate issue. He gave you his blessing, and you headed off into the unknown, traveling off to the coastline as you're going to cut through, with the knowledge that you still have that foldable boat. And we got to see it popped up in its full glory. The Song of Stars burst out into the ocean, and you began traveling. And for once, you all decided to choose a option that wasn't absolutely chaotic, and happened to be one of the more actually helpful options that you've gotten in the campaign so far. You got a bountiful wind, and just kind of a calm, peaceful journey across the waves, turning what would have been like 2.5 days into essentially a day and a half of travel, losing one day that you needed to go. During that travel, there was kind of a world view, or at least an understanding of the world that you began to break down one by one. In the fact that as you were traveling, let me just go back to the map here on Roll20 for those who can see it. As you were traveling, you learned that the world that you had known before, all of which of different experiences, of course, but at least for those who stayed on Dwellers for the majority of their time, and for those who thought that Paradise Peak and its inhabitants was quite a large island. In retrospect to the world that you came from, it was. However, I did point out that as you were sailing by a number of inhabited islands and just smaller scrapes of land, that Paradise Peak is actually quite similar to the size of the island that you were going past right here. And in terms of the world map, that means that you have ever so much to explore, and that from before the arcane detonation at the very least, it leads you to wonder if the world really did get reshaped, or if a portion of it did actually get destroyed when the bomb went off. Either way, you continued on your journey, and it was pretty quiet and calm. RP was just a little bit about, I believe, Megan really trying to grill getting an ironwood thicket tree sapling. Just really wanted an ironwood sapling, and it led to a really in-depth botany conversation about how you could try and how trees reproduce, and seeing if anyone knew how trees reproduce. Surprise. I've actually rolled that 20, so I explained it. Yeah, you figured that they're probably large seedlings. You could absolutely bring some back. It's not like they're overbearing or they over-encumber you to actually add on to your inventory. But you're not bringing a whole ass tree, because you learned those are in fact hundreds of feet tall. Not 100, but hundreds of feet tall. They are so large that you are still miles and miles away from the actual coastline itself, but can still make out the canopy far branching the actual encompassment between the coast and the mountain range that is off in the distance of the hollowed hills. So yeah, I mean, fun to see where that goes, but we also saw a brief moment with Durdon and Cyrus / Mischief, as they had a cute little moment on their both watch, and just kind of evening together as you were deciding whether you wanted to stay out at sea or go to land and kind of push through the night. They had a conversation where essentially Durdon wanted to know what Cyrus's goals were besides what they had already talked about with her returning to the Underdark to try and essentially unite the houses under one banner, whether that had to be through an extreme amount of violence, scheming, whatever it might be. But also asked about personal goals of mischief and tried to understand a higher being than himself, of which they did not seem very interested in explaining that part of themselves of Duradon, and kept getting more and more aggravated the more that he kept asking. But overall, it was a cute little moment that we all got to share, and was very quickly moved on to a much more terrifying scenario with Kipley. We saw in your rest for the creature that doesn't actually fully need to sleep anymore, you ended up actually nodding off halfway through the night, going to a dreamlike state, of which not only did you meet and talk with the Bone Mother, but you learned that she is a much more ancient being than you thought she was. It's because not only does she exist from this time, but she existed as a different creature in this time. She explained that as far as what you need to do here right now, she couldn't help you too much. She couldn't really reach you, but she could still feel your connection despite the distance. And it was clear that your existence here without making a pact or any kind of official relation with the Bone Mother of this time was causing some curiosity from behind the veil, and she offered to open a doorway to let her in case you wanted to meet the Mother of this time. And you did. And we got to meet the Morgan. The Bone Mother's true name, or at least what you would assume to be the name of her current self and form. You got a little bit of a backstory on her, that she was a Fey spirit, and that of one not necessarily being the domain of death, but being a creature who was part of the cycle of new beginnings. And for a story to begin, the previous story has to end. And she explained that little bit of kind of disturbing lore about herself. Well, Kipley was just enjoying the fact that a eldritch being didn't want to murder her immediately and trap her in a deal. You saw that she was a little bit more caring and cautious around how she carried herself and how she did conversation with you, as you, with your experience with otherworldly beings, well aware that sharing your name, saying things that are kind of close to deals, just not something that you should be doing in general, as it has screwed you over many times in the past. And she recognized this, and you had a bit of moment of understanding and laughter. Kind of understanding is the right word. It was just her acknowledging that, hey, I don't really need anything from you right now. You are stuck in this time, and I know that we are connected in some way, but I don't know how and or why yet. And she saw that the curse that you had, not only was it intriguing to her, but concerning as well. Asked you about it and wanted your thoughts on it. In a very Kipley fashion, you explained that as long as it was useful, you didn't mind the downsides or side effects, we'll call it. But needed more time to think and understand exactly what it could do. And with that, she gave you your one task that she would ask of you while you're in this time. And that is to find essentially her not birthplace, but the place in this world that's the foundation between the Fae and Eris was born into when she arrived here for the first time. She didn't say when that was, but she said when she first stepped into this world, uh, it remembered her, and it would be a place of power, and also a place where you could find a more easy decision or a more permanent solution to dealing with that choice. You got a little spectral birdie to guide you, and you saw as it flew off north. Now, I will ask you this, Megan. Would you like that denoted in the world map, or would you like a private map be sent to you for that location?
We could put it on the world map.
We'll put it on the world map, hell yeah. Let me see if I still have my raven. Where is my burb? I know for a fact I have an actual Raven token, but when I just searched Raven, I saw this come up, and I thought that is so much funnier. Will this load? Oh no! I don't know if it will. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually get the bird token. I found a really funny picture of a crow just staring at a camera point blank. While I am grabbing that, that's where we ended last session. So essentially, as a just overall update, you are about not even half a day's travel to the coast, and then by the end of day, you can make it to the Ironwood Thicket, no problem. It is now entering, I believe, if I check my notes as well, your 50th week. For how many remain before the end of your, call it deadline. There's many things that we could call it, but we'll call it deadline for now. Your deadline runs out, and the year's time is up. You still got plenty of time to travel over to Rail N, but for now, as we go ahead and pick up tonight's session, the new dawn's light shines upon the Song of the Stars. All of you wake up and you have the long rest condition in case you used any features or spells last session or the sessions prior. You can get those lovely little tickets back. And as we start off, you can see that, again, when you are farther out at sea, you don't really have the option to anchor. You are just kind of adrift. And because of your luck, you actually have been slowly drifting towards the coast. And you can see as the dawn's light begins to shine upon the land and all of that of which it encompasses, while you can't make out the thicket from this distance, you can see you are closer to the tree line than you were previously. And seeing it up close and seeing it this close, you can probably get there in less than a day's travel if you really push it. Or also, instead of going straight to land, it will be a little bit harder, but I will present you with this option. As you start off your day, you can either go and do the roughly about 2 to 3 hour journey to land on your boat and then trek it from there. Oh, that's right. I will go over those rules. Thank you for reminding me, Megan. Or if you want, you can do the roughly about 10 to 11 miles of another essentially boat travel to get to the Ironwood Thicket. You know it's somewhere closer to the bottom of the actual landmass, but you don't know exactly where. And it would be a little bit rougher in navigation, so I would make Cyrus do some checks to actually get the boat to shore in a little bit more dense terrain. But that's up to you guys. Do you want to hike it on land for the rest of your travel and explore the woods? Or do you want to try and skip directly to the thicket and see if Cyrus can make some piloting checks?
Where's the thicket?
So the thicket is this little red X at the bottom.
Oh, it is the red. Oh.
Why it is slightly off in the ocean, that is because Dom was trying to grab the token previously. It is somewhere in this general locale. You don't have a exact pinpoint because this is just old maps and it was just marked by the Savagers. So you got a loose area that it could be in.
So we're essentially deciding like either here or here.
Well, yeah, it's either if you want to go
here.
If you want to go straight to land, it'll only take you a few hours of like sea travel to get there, but then it's hiking the rest of the way, which means that if you were lucky enough to find it, it would be by nightfall. Or Cyrus can save you time by going direct by boat and kind of pulling along the edge of the land. And it would save you time, but it would require a little bit more navigation checks because you're trying to keep a slow pace where you can actually search from the ship opposed to searching on land. Not too difficult, but it's more up to you guys. While you're all deciding that, I will explain what you are seeing in your Roll20, Ash. So, going forward, as you may remember from 15 years ago when we were all, back when the four assembled regularly, we said that we weren't going to be doing levels 8 through 15 for item abilities. And instead of just taking that away and not giving you anything in return for creativity, I decided to rework a little bit of the homebrew rules. And I stole a little bit from here and there from some ideas that Jared and I have been talking about. But essentially, we are taking away legendary actions with the use of inspiration. And I'm going to be reworking item abilities, a few of which are just like damage dice change, feature limit changes, etc., as I want to get to a good place where it's both fun and balanced, so I don't have to throw a ridiculously high CR monster to make it feel, even. I don't want to kill you every time that you get into a fight. That's stupid. So that's going to be happening, but also in return, you're getting 4 inspiration that you can use every session. Those inspiration dice fuel your combination maneuvers, the new ability Clash, Twist of Fate, which is literally just adding a d6 onto your d20 rolls as well. So if you re-roll, still don't get enough, you can roll a d6 and see if you can get to the aimed result anyways. And we're doing the player agency reward, which is just a little kind of incentive for you guys to share, even if it isn't going to be necessarily in character, but in those dire moment rolls when you are using inspiration for a d20, about what kind of part of your backstory or like what part of your character interactions you've had with the party so far, or an NPC or just an event that affected you, would be fueling this inspiration dice and allowing you to reroll. And that will help you get those inspiration dice back and also get advantage on any of the inspiration features that you use. Now, the combination maneuvers, most likely you're not going to have to worry about. There's a lot of working parts. For you, it's pretty simple because yours is either just using spell slots or a bardic inspiration die, but it's a resource thing. Everyone has to expend something. 2 people have to agree on using a combination maneuver. It doesn't necessarily have to happen on your turn. It can happen in between turns. Very similar to how legendary action would work. And yeah, you got some fun ones.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I see I had all these ones here that have to do with Mustang. Do the ones that are they the same for, like, let's say the one I have with Kipley here, the Tales and Tribulations? Can she also see that, or does she have a different set of 3?
She has
that
a
only
different
she
set
can
of
do?
free. I made 12 different abilities, so
Wow.
you all have your each and these are just base abilities. Stated in the rules and on the actual card for this. You will be able to roll and try and create your own down the line. So these are just kind of the foundations. You can get an idea of what we're going for with these certain abilities. And yeah, like everything that you see on your end, that is because all those free other cards, they are anchors for you to use those abilities in the same way that you are an anchor for them to use yours. I think I used you as an example with Kipley when I was first talking about you guys' combination. Oh wait, no, I used Mammoths. That's right. Rising Hope, or Hope Rises. But yeah, you each help each other.
I guess that was my question, is that when the time comes, like, they can't look at the cost themselves, like, we have to discuss it when it's happening.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, it's supposed to invite you guys kind of planning more than just I shoot this guy.
Fireball.
Exactly. So it's just encouraging trying to communicate also. Do not be alarmed. I could not, in fact, find the raven, so we will be using the cat from the beginning of the campaign to mark Kipley's.
The kid killer.
Yeah. Although you don't actively see like a massive spectral bird pointing the way, Kipley, you do have a understanding and just kind of a natural pull in the direction. Because I described that it was north at first, but after you wake up and after like some time is beginning to set, it's kind of like an internal compass that you feel. At the very least, you can't just guide them to anywhere in the world, but there's one place that you would know how to find your way. Surprise, surprise, in the gloaming wildlands. But yeah, let me know if you had any other questions on that, Ash. But yeah, those are just
so freaking cool. I think
you did get some fun ones, especially with yours and Duradon's.
Yeah,
Everyone got cool shit.
I was like, damn, this is peak. It's so peak.
But do remember, it is tied to inspiration, so every time that you reroll, that's less and less of what you actually get to use. And in combat, you're most likely only using these once or twice, so it's not like your main features, and they're not haven't been actively used since, because they were introduced last session.
Got it.
But it is an option, and it is something that I would like to keep open, so that in the future we have something in replacement of item abilities, and it will also keep me sane, so I don't have to keep track of, eventually when you guys hit level 10, 40 different abilities.
Yeah, that's crazy mode.
Yeah, so it's the best of both worlds for both DM and player. At least I think so.
I think it is going to be very fun to experiment with, and I am looking forward to it. And we should probably also set aside some time to meet up to talk about Mustang's item. So much is changing so fast.
Yeah, it's fine. All good. So, all that being said, we can talk about that later. For now, what would you guys like to do? Would you like to actually explore the land itself and hike and try and find the Iron Thicket? Oh, hey, Dury.
Oh.
This little Donnie.
Oh, you got faked out.
Well, he's dead anyway. I will give him 2 minutes before. God damn it, Darren. There we go.
Oh,
Hi, Jared.
Jareed.
You're
I had just finished a legitimate, like, 30-minute recap. Because Ash hasn't been here. But
I'm all filled
welcome
in now.
Welcome in.
Thank you. How's everyone doing?
Das is
Pretty-
good.
Yeah, Dees, you've been on a mission. You're a man. You've been
Yes. Oh my
the
god.
friend mission.
I will tell you this, and I will tell you this because I love all of you. I swear to God, never have your cousin and your best friend date each other.
What the?
Ay. Don't shit where you eat.
Oh
Don't shit where you eat.
no.
Hard.
It's alright. It's life. It's life, and life is.
That baby.
How do you comfort your cousin or your best friend? As a...
I was just proposing to the group of whether or not you would like to hike inland to try and find the Ironwood Thicket, or if you would like to try and essentially navigate your way around the coast and the coastline, with Cyrus making some piloting checks for the Song of Stars. So essentially, you can try and save more time, but maybe a little bit risk the ship, or you can try and hike inland, but it's going to take you the majority of the day, probably arriving by nightfall. How would we like to proceed?
Uh,
That's pretty much
obviously,
up
I
to-
don't have my finger on the pulse of the campaign anymore, but this is Mammoth's ship, right?
Yeah, that's all I was about to say. This is Mammoth
Yeah.
was our decision.
It's up to everyone.
Yeah. Part of the ship, part of the crew, or whatever they say.
That is, in fact, the only words that the spirits can mumble. Just a bunch of discordant, high-pitched part of the ship, part of the crew you hear throughout the night.
I'm of the mind that I don't really want to damage our only way to get around easily. Personally.
I'm also thinking that. Plus, if we get there at nighttime, we could sleep and have a full day there in the morning.
Okay. Land it is.
I think so.
Land!
Okay. Boop. Sorry, don't mind me as I was just putting some text so that some of these make sense. So I realized I didn't really label any of this before besides just saying what they are. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and move you guys onward. You'd make landfall after 2 hours of traveling early in the morning, around 10 o'clock. You guys push the Song of Stars as close to land as you feel comfortable. Now here's the fun thing. Mayoff and I discussed, I believe Ryan asked after the session of whether you could swap the boat sizes while it's in use. The answer is no. So you got options. Song of Stars does not come with, I don't believe, longboats. So everyone has the choice of Mammoth turning it into a longboat, and in doing so, everyone would fall into the water as he has to fold the boat back up and then unfold it again. Or you would have to just swim your way to shore for about 100 or so feet.
Sounds like we're getting wet anyways. Let's get out the longboat.
It's whether you feel like
Aye,
you're going to be physically exerting as well. Cool. So the process of having physical matter underneath your feet instantly disappear and be turned into a small wooden backpack is a first for all of you. You are like, I think at the very least, like 30... oh god, let me do math in my head. Like 35 to 40 feet above the actual water because of how big the galleon is. So when it does fall and the ship kind of compacts into itself, all of you have that moment where it's kind of Looney Tunes. You're all just in the air, look around at one another, and then just splash down into the water. The cold, chilling water of the morning. And then a few moments later, Mammoth pulls out the wooden backpack, unfolds it again, and speaks the command word "work?" ? I think that's what you stuck with.
Yeah, let's get to work.
Let's get to work. And a small, tight little longboat pops out, and he begins to row you all to shore. Well, you don't really have to row. You do still have spirits. There's just like kind of one semi-larger spirit that just grabs onto the oars and begins to row for you. And as you arrive, you can see that there is a small kind of like more rocky coastline here. isn't nearly as much as a beach as much as kind of like those smooth kind of pebble beaches where it's just a lot of not like hard to walk on stone, but that kind of smoothed out over time stone beach. It goes on for roughly about 100 or so feet before it begins to go into more kind of grass and more rocky terrain. And then past that, you can see the edges of the ironwood forest. Now, the actual thicket somewhere lying within. But as you step out onto shore, Duradon and Mammoth, both of you get a sense of, as soon as you touch down on this land, Mammoth, you don't get an innate direction or feeling, but you get the sense that, in a similar way to how you actually felt back in that dream when you were still at the Palace of Ultron, when you first saw that massive scaly body and eye of the creature devouring the stars, and that feeling of being watched, but not actually seeing the watcher. As soon as you both begin to drag the longboat on shore, fold it up into a backpack, and begin to make your way towards the forest, there's just an unsettling feeling that you are being watched, but you do not know where from. Actually, Mustang, your passive perception is pretty high as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 13. Yeah, you don't get to the same effect as the other two, but you do just get a little sense of unease that as you are beginning to approach this massive canopy and tree line, that you've been in dangerous situations, mainly for you, quite the opposite of a lively forest. An open desert planescape where you can see everything, still dangerous, but you can at least see the danger. You just get the strong inclination that this could hold a whole lot more trouble than what you have experienced in the past, or at least what you think you might be in for. As you all head off into the forest, I have to ask you the question that you may take with whatever level of concern that you would like. Are you marching on at a fast pace, or would you like to try and stealth your way through?
Duradon will actually do maybe potentially wise thing here.
Potentially wise. I love those.
Potentially wise. How far away are we from the place itself? The
You don't have an exact location, so you're going to be trying to find it during this process. But this is more of a, you would guess, like you have roughly about a good 4 to 5 mile span of area inside the actual Ironwoods, that you know it was marked on your map where it should be. It's also going to take about 5 to 6 miles to get there. So it's whether or not you're going to try and be stealthy when you're approaching the area itself and when you're actually just walking through the woods to get there.
With Duradon's sight, what he'll say to the party, he'll be like, so there was a moment where I spoke to the entity from the other Druid Grove, and he made mention that he could smell my actions and what I've done. And while he was a bit different, the goddess of nature, or the god of nature that these people worship, might not be as receptive, understanding, or willing to understand my past, and this is an opportunity for Mammoth to learn a lot about themselves, or about himself. So when we're about a mile out from the area, I think it's best that I kind of stay back, at least until you all establish contact, establish character of the group, and I don't want to immediately be a part of something and ruin his opportunity to meet with other druids.
You see, Cyrus looks at you with a little bit of concern. Oh, go ahead, Mustang.
Oh, go ahead. I think Cyrus is about to say the same thing that I am.
She just chime in and go, if this were potentially an open field, sure. We're going to be leaving yourself in the middle of the woods in an unknown time and location with unknown threats and dangers. I think whether you're with or without us, there's still going to be some sort of trial to pass here.
I think for once we should put all our cards on the table at the beginning. And I think we should walk up there and say, hey, this is our situation, except for the time travel. And then go from there. And hopefully they trust us. Instead of leaving some big frolic guy hovering about a mile away from their.
Also, Ryan, you're super quiet.
Super quiet.
Yeah, okay. I was like, oh.
I have you
That might
turned
be-
all the way up.
Me too.
Yeah, I got
Let
you on
me-
200%, brother. I don't know if you're pulling a Jared and are using your webcam, but
No, I fucked with some settings. And
gotcha.
I mean, if you're again, the thing that I think they're going to be able to smell is that I've killed a lot of druids. So if we're willing to go to a druid grove with a druid killer, and we don't think it'll harm our chances of diplomacy, I'm good. I'm good with sticking with the party. I just think, while we had the opportunity to maybe, my brain cells are deciding to not focus on hunting or being hunted, and they came together to be cautious. I would at least express it. But I do understand the sentiments of putting our best foot forward and just being completely honest.
We don't have to be completely honest. The other druids didn't know who you were or what you've done. It was just the big creepy thing.
Yeah, and the big creepy thing was enough to almost kill all of us, so...
Yeah, but are we really thinking there's going to be another one of those in there?
I don't think you understand how powerful beings of nature just can be, especially or the forces of magic that can exist in anything that's powerful enough to be considered a grove. Because it's not just like a bunch of druids hanging out. Like, to be a grove, that's a lot of magic and a lot of power consolidated in a place to protect that region. It's really powerful. There was only one Atreus, and he was... is it Antreus or Atreus?
It's Atreus.
I just had
Atreus.
this vision of Duradon being like, ooh.
Brother,
Yeah.
and he was like, brother,
He definitely does shiver when he thinks about like Atreus's power and what he experienced like as a child, of Atreus against the most capable warriors of his clan.
Yeah,
he's
but
like,
Mammoth has his own protector. And he'll protect us. Right? She looks over at Mammoth.
if everyone's good with the risk and we're good with it, I'm more than happy to stay. I'm very cautious and concerned about staying with the group, but I will gladly do it if everyone accepts that that is a potential risk. You know.
I mean, yeah, no, it's a risk. Staying by yourself, though, is a big risk.
Yeah, and I don't mean offense when I say this to any of you except for maybe Cyrus. Cyrus. Well, this doesn't pertain to Cyrus, I should say. I think, like, as an individual, a lot of my prowess and capabilities is meant specifically around, like, hunting, which is a lot of running, hiding, shooting, not being caught, catching prey at the best opportunity, and shifting, like, positions. Like, this is my terrain. In theory. This is kind of like when we had the land back home, this was my shit. And so, like, for a lot of you, this is new and like a new space and area. But like this type of hunting and being in an environment like this where there's a lot to hide and perceive and this is my thing, and I think I'm actually good at it alone. In that I'm at a detriment when I'm with more people. So just for future reference, if there's ever a situation where we have to be like, hide and run, I will do those things, and it will be maybe bad for the rest of you, because I will run and hide efficiently.
I think Durdon's right, but this is Mammoth's journey, and Mammoth, if you want us all to stick together, I think we oughta. But I think Durdon's got a point. This is kind of his specialty, I suppose I'd say.
It's the word. Fuck, you're good with words.
It's your area of expertise. I don't know what you're going for, but yeah, you saw how badly we all got
kind of winging it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Mammoth, you don't have a strong opinion about anything in this particular context. I mean, I'm sure you've got strong opinions.
I have ideas and stuff, but I don't. I mean, if other people have other ideas, kind of the thing.
We want to hear yours. That's why I'm asking.
Well, my idea was to stick together, and then maybe we decided that maybe isn't probably the best idea. So I'm flexible.
You're very flexible.
Oh, that's weird. Why'd you say it like that?
The group slow pans towards Kifley.
What?
That was an interesting way to have said that.
Yeah, watch it
down.
down.
All mush and everything earlier. He can
But like you
know.
But he's also like a kid. You see the context of like this saying a child is very flexible in that specific tone that you had.
Well, they are. Children are much
It's
more
not the
flexible than adults.
content.
Both
It's not
concerning.
what you said. It's how you said it.
Yeah, no.
Plus, he was
it's
like a mound of clay earlier, just kind of globbed together.
Sorry, huh?
He was a mound of clay. When did I miss
What?
being a mound of clay?
Yeah, back when, you know.
Did you wake up on the right side of the bed this morning, or the right side of the hammock, or?
Oh, you didn't see it. That's so interesting.
I also don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you good?
Huh.
Hey, Kipley. Do you know who we are?
Of course I know who you are.
Your brother Ezrin, I'm here.
Oh God! Oh, that would be so sad.
Whoa.
Is Iris's accent's close enough? British.
And just just to humor us, you know, because we're such a funny group of people. You know our names, right?
Of course I do. You're
Aren't you
you're Villain
famously bad
Tats,
names?
you're Blades
Yeah.
Jawdam, and you're Buckles Jalore.
Buckles Jalore. Which one of them is Buckles Jalore? I have to know.
She looks over at Mustang.
Oh,
That's right. It's Buckles Jalore, baby.
I'm
You
referring
heard
to
her.
you as Buckles. You are Buckles now.
No, you are more than welcome.
That's amazing.
Can I insight to see if this is just Kipley fucking with us, or if
Yeah,
this is like
go ahead.
it?
Roll me a straight, not persuasion check. Roll me a straight charisma check, Kipley. You can use either persuasion or deception, your choice. But just add
I
the modifier
insight
to the
also?
corresponding check. Everyone else
Okay.
can roll insight checks.
Plus.
Ah, bastard.
We love when
Never tried
Kipley
to
rolls well when it doesn't
Money.
matter.
So it's
Is that like a 20
plus,
set? 26?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
your
I would've been
modifier
able-
is, let me see, at this level, it's still a +3. Yeah, so it's a 26. So,
Yeah, couldn't be
yeah,
bad.
you guys just kind of stare at her. And you genuinely, what do they believe, Megan? What's the current vibe?
You know, Kipley's seen a lot of things. And the vibe is she's I don't fucking know. I don't know, she makes up shit names. But maybe she learned some things from the creepy monster or her patron, or maybe Cyrus told her something, or mischief did.
So elusive as always, you guys have not a singular fucking clue what's going on in Kipley's head. You know her notoriously to be someone to make shit up. You cannot tell to what level of bullshitting she is currently giving you right now.
Hey, maybe this is a job for the cowboys. You know, good old Stang and Mammoth, and I'll stay back to make sure that Kipley is Kipley.
She seems to be Kipley just fine to me. I needed a new name anyway, didn't I?
Calm. Stay calm and Kipley on.
Oh, that was terrible. Please never say anything like that ever again.
I've just now thought of this. I'm quite proud. As a joke, right? That's a semblance of a joke. No? Okay.
Yeah, unthink it, please.
It was something.
All right.
I will say, Mammoth.
I'm just gonna stay quiet for the rest of this journey.
No, because if you stay quiet, then she'll come back.
She'll come So, running back to the question before all this, are you guys stealthing as you're beginning to approach the marked area where the grove should be? Or are you just approaching openly and not trying to hide your approach?
Mammoth is leaning towards the latter.
Okay.
For the sake of transparency.
Sure. Rest of you? You follow in Mammoth suit?
Yes, sir.
Jordan
Okay.
will fall maybe a few 100 feet back and try to be a little stealthy.
Ooh, I need you to define what a few 100 feet is, because that could be 800 or like 5.
Yeah, you're right. I'll stay 100 feet behind.
Keep in mind, this is dense wood that you're trying to actually. Oh god damn it, dense woods. I could just I just saw in my head just the smallest little curl on Megan's smile. As soon as I said
don't
that.
predict me. I don't like it.
Real deep boy. Oh my god.
You're going for dense woods. Clarification on that ass right there. That your vision, while you can see out to a mile, requires you to actually be able to have line of sight. So you can still travel like 100 feet behind them and make out their general area and keep like somewhat eyesight. But the further you go in, the actual closer and thicker the trees are. Tree line is, excuse me. So we will have to start getting an inch and closer and closer.
Yeah. At what point does at what distance behind them does visibility start getting like problematic?
I would say just go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Perception at disadvantage. That is. God's damn, I'm using fucking what's name? The inspiration. Alright.
Burn through one already. I like it.
27.
Wow, you rolled the same thing twice. That is 2 19s. Goddamn. With 27, I will say that you can keep. And this is not immediately at first. At first, you can still stay over 100 feet away and watch them as we're walking towards the grove. But once you actually start to get within the area of it, you do have to stay exactly like 100 to 120 feet before you start to lose like clear line of sight. You can still see the general area they're in again, but you're just not able to keep direct line on sight for any features, callouts, or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if do you require line of sight for telepathic thought?
Let me not lie to you. Let me actually read the ability before I say 9. Where is it? Mental link. Yeah, you can speak to any creature you can see. Yeah. I had to see them to make the initial connection, and then from there, it lasts for an hour. I don't have to see them.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're good.
I'll connect to.
All right.
Mammoth. He has the high perception.
All right. So here is the fun thing. If you're not actually trying to hide anything, you were told that a series of runes is going to spell out a phrase to open up the doorway to the grove. So I would like everyone here can go ahead and roll me your choice of perception or investigation. And this is going to be just a series of trials. We're looking for 3 successes. Mm-hmm.
So
You're saying something, right?
Ironwood Thicket is now, or like 1,000 years in the future, the Slumbering Thicket.
You presume they're related. You don't know if they're exactly the same.
Okay.
The slumbering thicket, compared to what you're seeing right now, is not anywhere close to how tall these trees are. Slumbering thicket seems more like an average forest in terms of its size, density, and what lives inside of it. There is a singular tree that was described at average thickness. There you go. There was a singular tree that was described in the slumbering thicket way back when. That you guys, because you guys never actually went inside the slumbering thicket to see the druids. There was one large tree that, now that you are kind of thinking about that, you do remember that was as tall and fitting the same kind of category as the trees that you're around right now. So definitely related in some aspect, but not one for what you can probably guess.
So for the purpose of find the path, we're not gonna.
I would love to see you try, bud. Yeah. Just pop the slumbering thicket, and it says to go back in time. It just says, you know what? It would be so.
Well, I don't know if
funny
it's a
for it to
longitude and
lead-
latitude, or you know.
Right. Well, because the spell finds the most direct path to get to there. So my logic would be is that it would bring you to Aldrin.
That's pretty good.
but I'm not gonna do that to you because that would suck. I will, if you would like to use that feature, I will allow for you to do. So that's a once a day thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. If you want to try and skip finding the phrase, I will allow for you to make a single survival check with advantage. The DC, is going to be a DC of 25.
Okay.
And it will lead you straight to the doorway, and or the secret doorway, because
I'm gonna give you bardic.
the slumbering thicket and iron thicket aren't the same thing, but by proxy they are kind of in the same threshold of landmass. So I will give that to you, that you can name it to try and find a way in there. I'm not gonna be an asshole and give you the feature that finds things and then be like, oh no, you can't find it. That just feels bad. So DC 25. I would suggest guidance beforehand, but
I'm giving you a bardic.
Okay.
cool. As a
Anybody's gonna
D8 this level,
Yeah, it's a D8.
right? Cool. So you have a
Damn.
D8 for
Can
the
I do
roll.
guidance on myself?
You can do guidance on yourself, so it's a D4 for yourself as well. Rolls is at advantage, but it is a DC 25, and you only get this one chance.
I'm feeling confident.
Okay, keep that confidence, buddy.
Come on,
I'm
Dylan.
hoping for it. So, describe to
Oh
me
my
how it
God.
looks from him. Oh, you motherfucker!
Oh wait, that's
You
two
motherfucker, you did not
D20s
just roll a
added
20.
together.
Did you just roll a 20 and an 8?
My God.
Jesus. So, wait, okay, hold on.
Wait. That's
I don't
So
know.
that's
that's
a natural
2D20.
20. No,
I don't know why
he did roll. He did roll 2d20 plus his perception, and then he
Oh.
added a d8 on top of that. So that's a natural 20 plus 8, which is your survival modifier,
Yeah, I don't know where it got the second 8 from.
It's
plus.
the second die
That's
that you
20.
rolled. It just
Correct.
added
'Cause
it
of a
together.
natural.
So
accidentally.
go ahead
Oh,
and roll
okay.
me. So that's 28 on the. That's 28 for the initial roll, natural 20. Go ahead and roll me a d4 and an additional d8.
oh boy.
So we're currently sitting at 28. That's 30. That's 38. So there's a 38 survival check. Describe to
crazy.
me, Mammoth.
You see the entire future of this forest.
What? Because here's the thing. Technically speaking, in the year and a half this campaign has gone on, I believe this is your first use of the feature.
It is.
Because every time that you've been going elsewhere, you've already known where you're going. So describe
Yeah.
me what this looks like. for Mammoth in this moment as you're touching the stone, and you're trying to hone in on this feature that you know you have, but you haven't actually used before.
Okay, how far away would you say we are from the entrance? Like a mile or?
Cool. You want to know the exact distance? Because I'm 38. I think I have to tell you. I think I'm legally obligated.
I mean,
from the entrance, let me see. I can get the exact for you. You're 7.8 miles away.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you learn that the entrance, at least the one that you're pinging, that may or may not require the password, is on the very, very edge of the actual thicket.
Because my first thought was gonna be like, oh, I recognize this tree. It's this way. But first of all, that doesn't make any sense because time. And second of all, that's way too many miles out to remember a tree in the vicinity, even with its 38. I don't know. I guess so. Okay, so we'll have the stone in our hand, and obviously we'll think like, okay, where is it? And then I guess kind of he kind of absorbs like, or I guess becomes more aware like of his immediate surroundings and feels like the wind through the leaves kind of guiding him in that direction, and birds calling specifically from that one direction, and just kind of like he feels a pull towards the entrance.
You absolutely do. Because here's the thing. The elements don't have a language. Nature itself may have Druidic, but Druidic is not what you use to speak to the land or anything like that. You can have spells to speak with plants and animals, but you get as close to a literal whisper on the wind as possible, as a strong breeze flows kind of over you and rustles a large majority of the leaves and branches and a straight carved out path. And I'm going to say, while the forest doesn't physically move, like the trees don't uproot themselves and open up a pathway, you see branches begin to bend, and the actual like while the topology stays the same, the actual kind of view of the forest gets to as close as possible, opening a straight, clear pathway forward deeper into the woods.
Right.
You can feel that breeze just consistently blowing. You guys watch as Mammoth closes his eyes, and legitimately it looks like the forest just answers his question of, as part of the semantic casting, find the path, is show me the path. And the actual woods opens up this pathway for him. Which, again, these trees aren't small. Like, these branches are 20 feet long, bending to make, like, it's actually, you know what? It's exactly like that. It's like the Spider-Man crane scene from The Amazing Spider-Man, where all the cranes open up and gives them that straight pathway to Oscorp Tower. You get a bunch of like 20-foot branches just bending to get straight, like pointer arrows, towards this unseen entrance for the moment, because it is still miles away. But that's insane. That's insane.
That's incredible, villain. You just, like, commanded the entire forest.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
You are. You really are.
Damn straight.
Just don't ask me to do it again, because I don't have any idea how I did that.
Sure you do. It'll come to you again.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But I don't think it could be any more obvious that it's that way.
After you?
Alright.
How auspicious.
And with that, you begin to march on. Now, what would have been hours upon hours of searching in the woods, making multitude of survival checks to try and find your way to get, not to the original pathway, but just to get the different hidden runic markers and the parts of a phrase that is necessary to enter, you just bypass that with a natural 20 for a fucking 38. You fully follow the pathway through. It takes you about 2 hours of marching through the Ironwood thicket, or excuse me, the Ironwood forest, before you see an entrance ahead of you. Now, where the spell Find the Pathway ends, and you can see where the branches aren't bent and where there isn't a kind of like strong draw to, you see there is a tree that is far larger and far older than the others. And inside the base of it, kind of very as far as you can tell, weathered by time, but also with additional claw markings of various different beasts. You can see there is a pitch black, what looks like to be entranceway, where there is just a hole inside of the tree. The hole itself is about 20 feet tall. This is not small by any means. Now, it's, in retrospect to the forest, small, but if you were walking by this during the day, you would be able to see it. If this is at night, this would be completely unrecognizable. But you also think that this is not normally revealed. Does anyone here have a passive arcana of at least, we'll say 13?
I think I do.
No.
That's right, not many people in here actually have the intelligence proficiencies.
Well,
Kipley does. Cool. Yeah, because yours is 14. Beautiful. Does Turadon have Arcana proficiency? You got a surprise in there, bud? You got a surprise in that Kinder Egg for us? Worth asking. Kipley, you have a strong feeling that this is normally hidden with magic. That this normally would have illusion magic, making it look like it is just the base of a tree. But you get the feeling that whatever overwhelming force Mammoth used to find this pathway, or to open a pathway to find this spot, not only did it make the most direct pathway to this spot, but it straight up eviscerated whatever guise or illusion was holding this kind of entrance closed. So you're like, oh, like that's pitch black magic. If you can't see through it, that means that it's something more than illusion magic, but there would normally be some sort of like barrier between a hidden entrance. And then you just look at the child who's just like, oh, this is sick, awesome. You just get like a little bit of worry of like, I don't know the spell for that. But even if I did, for like dispel magic, normally wouldn't be able to do that without actually seeing where you're putting the location of the spell. But yeah, you guys move all the way down. And as you approach, you're not trying to hide your presence. You haven't been trying to hide it the entire time. Certainly not with the Find the Spell path. As you approach the tree and you can see this kind of void of inky blackness, what would you like to do? The spell effects end there. It is still like mid-afternoon, around like 12, 1 o'clock. So you do still have daylight, but it does not seem to pierce past whatever. You don't know if it's a spell effect or if it is just something about this tree that is creating this dark screen.
This is...
We throw something in there?
Yeah, this is really... weird. Mammoth, are you sure you want to move forward?
Well, even if I didn't, we're already here.
But I mean, if you didn't want to, we don't have to.
I know. But I think we should.
And going in, you want us to just be completely open and honest, right? All cards on the table?
I don't know. For the... for every... It just, maybe, I don't know about how we're from the future. I don't know how... If we should even tell them that, because otherwise they're gonna kill us or not trust us or whatever. But also, it seemed pretty obvious that that's a no-no.
Yeah, they kind of said not to do that. We'd get in big trouble.
Yeah, so I'm thinking anything but that.
Okay.
And then whoever wants to go with me can, but you don't have to.
Oh no. I'm coming with you. Gotta make sure you don't turn into another glob.
Right.
Sure, that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Well, I can't help it that your eyes are closed.
I think I would know if I turned into clay. But anyways.
Meanwhile, Mustang's been gathering like sticks and rocks to throw into the portal just to see what happens.
Sure,
Is
you're
it
gonna
a
throw a
portal?
rock into it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Or stick. Let's start with a stick.
A stick? Okay. Go ahead and give me a...
Roll for
I'll
stick.
be nice. I'm not gonna make you use strength. Give me a dexterity check.
Okay. 22.
22. You do not hear an impact on the other side.
Thought it was gonna shoot up out at me.
What?
Disappears inside. No sound
So-
on the other.
So it's a portal. It's not just like
No.
I can't devil sight see through it. I guess is what I'm asking.
Both you and Kipley with your devil sight don't see past this point. So you know that it is something that is either beyond magical darkness or is simply not actually obscuring anything on the other side.
Okay. Well, then I guess seeing, the lack of anything happened when Mustang threw the stick. I'll walk in hands first.
Kipley will follow.
Hands first.
Yeah, like mummy walking.
Cool.
She'll make the same walk behind him.
Let me ask, man.
Aiming my spell cannons at them.
Just two finger guns.
Yeah.
Which is your dominant hand?
Ooh.
What?
Fuck it. I'm a lefty.
Okay.
Oh, like father, like son again.
And do you think you're weakest at the wrist or elbow? Not kidding.
Not
we
a cool
love-
question.
Hey, gang, don't like that. Cool. So you just enter first. Kipley follows behind. Is anyone not immediately following them inside?
Mustang is not. He's staying to kind of just see
Staying outside?
where Dorodon and Zyrus are. before he goes in.
Zyrus is cautiously waiting behind them. She does not immediately follow them in, but you do see they are kind of like scoping it out and just kind of narrowing their eyes at the inky void before them.
Do I have a chance to talk to her, or is shit happening?
Yeah, you can talk to him.
Okay, great. Zyrus, are you gonna stay back with your boy toy, or are you coming with us?
Oh, we love those words. She turns and gives you the most bombastic side eye. First off, Buckles, wild line. Secondly, I am coming. I was just trying to get a better read on what this is.
Yeah, you and me both.
I don't fully understand it, and I don't. Oh, he's walking towards it. Mammoth, and you watch this mammoth disappears inside, and Kipley doing a mummy walk directly behind him, copying mammoth, also disappears in.
Does anything happen?
They're
Or
gone.
is it much like a stick?
God.
You don't see them. You don't see them. They walk
Alright,
in, and you don't see anything else from them.
That's my cue then. See you on the other side, Zyrus. And he'll walk in after them.
You walk in after him. Duradon. Just you and Zyrus still standing outside the portal.
Duradon will ask Cyrus, what are the... Like, this doesn't seem like it's a safe thing to do. Okay. Are we going to do it anyway?
Yeah, I think so.
God. Okay. Cool.
You just mark on my grave that I thought this was a stupid idea.
No, I'm with you. You can put the same thing on mine. I mean, not visiting the Grove. The Grove is fantastic. Going through a portal without anyone... Can't, like, spellcasting people do, like, magic that tells them what other magic is?
Absolutely.
And we didn't do that?
No.
Okay.
With the 6?
And
No way.
fuck, that is their name.
That's your name too. You signed up for it, buddy.
Yeah. Duradon will just do his due diligence and see if there are any like symbols or markings or anything that he can
After
see
the fact.
around. Yeah,
just go ahead and give me a perception check.
yeah.
I like how the party has fully walked in already, and then Duradon afterwards like, let me check for danger.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use perception again. Sorry, inspiration again.
Gonna use another one. Cool.
Yeah, we'll get 4.
23.
Okay, 3. Yeah.
You don't see, again, like, you see there's a lot of claw marks around this spot of various different beasts. One of which you don't, actually, I take it back, majority of which you don't recognize. Some you do. They're clearly some type of bear claw that you don't know what species, but the pattern fits up. You see that the, with a 23, well, there isn't any humanoid footprints going into the direction of this. There is very subtle hints of hoof marks that disappear as soon as they reach the entrance, and you recognize that in the pattern that they go in, you see the front and back pair in a matching pace. And then you watch as the front pair disappears into the portal, and you recognize that it is in fact a portal because the back half also is gone. Like from the distance, there should have been another step closer. And you kind of put 2 and 2 together very quickly that this is not a shroud. This is in fact a portal, and that's why they couldn't see through it.
Gotcha. Is there any writing that he sees of any kind?
No,
Near there?
because you would think there would be actual writing for the normal entranceway of how to get here, but this is the hidden path to get there, so
Okay.
kind of bypass what would normally be what would normally be a phrase or hidden phrases to enter.
Dang shit. I'm going to establish a mental link with Cyrus and then be like, well, this seems like a portal.
Let's just
Yeah.
You both walk in. And Mammoth, as you enter the inky blackness and step through, the first thing that you hear is a crunch. As you look down, see that you've stepped on a stick. Same one that Mustang threw in before you. The second thing you see is a hallway of inky black tendrils. It is pitch black, and at the very end of the hall, there is the slightest bit of light. And you watch, because you do have Devil's Sight now, you watch as Kipley walks in behind you and kind of bumps into you. And soon following after, Mustang, Cyrus, and Duradon all file in. And you're just kind of at what you feel is the brink of probably what would be like 100 to like 100 and like 150 foot long hallway. You can't really make out the ceiling and or floor, as again this is complete pitch black, and as you take a step in, it doesn't feel like ground. Go ahead and give me a history check real quick. I'll say you get advantage on this roll. Is it something happened similar to you semi-recently?
Uh, 17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
This is different, absolutely different than before, but similar enough that you kind of think for a second, and the closest memory that you have to something like this happening to you is when you first, back on Paradise Peak months ago, when you first had your conversation with your grandfather, Mary, and you were sitting on the stars themselves out in a space-like terrain where you didn't have actual floor, but you were more floating than actual interacting with solid objects and gravitational forces. What would you like to do?
I guess we'll turn around and make sure Kipley's still behind me.
Yeah, no, she fully walks through and bumps into you as she... Actually, no, you don't, because you have Devil's Sight as well. Everyone else, for Mustang, Duradon, and Cyrus, all kind of stumble in and bump into one another as this place is, in fact, complete darkness beyond dark vision.
I have Devil's Sight? I have Devil's Sight?
You have the closest thing that you can get to true sight because of the hairband, which functions as Devil's Sight.
What?
So you can see, and
That's
you can
pretty
see
cool.
through anything that is magic. Yeah, you can read your sheet, girl.
I'm looking
You
at
can
my
see,
sheet.
If you read your first level feature, you have the ability to see the world around you through magic and not just through physical form. So it is essentially, as long as you are not physically blinded, like your eyes aren't, either magically blinded through spells, or you're not physically blinded for the loss of your eyesight, there's not a lot of things that can stop your vision.
This is under features?
No, this would be your spell cards.
W-
When you first
oh.
got your item ability.
Okay.
We'll do some catching up on that, maybe.
I'm
But
start reading.
yeah, for the time and moment, because I believe that's how it works, but it's been a while, so I can double check for you. You two are the only ones that can actually see as of right now, and you can both see that small kind of bluish light at the end of this rather inky hallway.
Yeah, Kipley just comes through in the same manner, arms out like, rawr. Well, that looks ominous. Is that where we need to go?
I mean, I guess. I think it's the only way to go.
Okay, so just for a plan. Actually, no. Let's just do it. Alright, moving forward. And she'll just kind of turn back, and as Mustang it comes through, she'll just kind of whisper, Hey, Buckles, this way. Come on.
Which way?
This way.
Which way?
She reaches out and grabs Buckles.
Oh,
You
great,
grab
there you are.
onto Buckles.
Yeah. Come on.
Sure.
He follows willingly.
As you begin to kind of attempt to walk through this hallway, you notice that Mammoth's the first one to notice this. Your footsteps don't carry the same weight as they normally would. As why don't you go ahead and just double check. Mammoth, yeah, Kipley is technically the fastest one in here. As you begin to try and walk forward, before you can even kind of command your muscles to move to then make your legs take a step. Weirdly enough, Kipley, it's rather easy to grab onto Buckles and drag him, as you are not dragging him on the floor, you are dragging him through the space itself as you begin to float and glide towards this blue light. At a slightly more rapid pace than Mammoth and the others, as you are the only one with an intelligence above 10.
Oh, it requires you to be intelligent?
This space currently requires intelligence to move in the way that you're currently trying to. As all of you, whether you kind of form like a chain of Mammoth in the lead, Kipley dragging Buckles.
It's like Peter
As that's
Pan
your
leading
legal
the
name.
kids.
It is kind of like Peter Pan. And Durdon Cyrus is kind of hanging on for dear life at the end. You are all floating through this space, being moved. Is it 10 or is it 12?
12.
12. Okay, so you and the same Kipley has a little bit easier time navigating the space. You still can't see. You don't even see the light at the end of the tunnels. You are.
I'm gonna close my eyes to get blindsided.
Yeah. It doesn't help.
Kipley.
Your blind sight, correct me if I'm wrong, is only out to 60 feet, right?
I'll let you know in a second, but it's
Yeah.
not greater
The-
than 60 feet.
Yeah, the radius, even though extended far past the normal radius of blind sight goes to, it doesn't pick up anything. In fact, it's concerning that you don't pick up anything because it should pick up your terrain, but there is no terrain to pick up, and you can't see light while in blind sight, so you are still as blind as you would be without it. You were saying something, Megan?
Oh,
I think I cut you off.
no, you're fine. Kipley says, hold on, Buckles, and she just pauses you, kind of floats forward and directs Mammoth to Buckles' hands. I'm sorry, Villain to Buckles, and then she floats over towards Blades, and she's like, "Hey, come here, you." Grabs Blades' hand and pulls you forward, and connects your hand to Villain. All right, this is what we call partners. Okay. This is how we all survive. You have to keep hands. You have to keep partners. As long as you keep your hands together, we're all going to be alright, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Buddy system
Wait,
it
so-
is.
I missed why Kipley was the fastest one instead of Mammoth.
Intelligence. This space seems to be operating when you are trying to move forward by is simply that those that are at 10 intelligence are moving at a speed of 20 feet, while those with 12 are moving at a speed of 30. While you're trying
okay.
to float for this space.
Okay,
So it's
so
not like
it
something
wasn't
is holding
specifically
you back.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's more the fact that you're
I'm just dumb as hell.
your statistics in this moment are causing some of you to move faster than others.
Oh, and then she also grabs Zyrus's hand and connects that with Blades.
Okay.
And then she'll
So you
lead
grab
everyone.
Blades in Cyrus's hand, and you kind of link them all together and begin dragging them towards the end of this hallway. And as you do so, all of you slowly drift through silent subspace. There's no sound in here. The only sound you can even hear is the kind of breathing and few words that you do share with one another while in your space. And there is a moment that you move forward 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet. And as you begin to get closer towards the end of the hallway, you find yourself left less in a drift and more in a almost vacuum-like state as it begins to pull you in. And as it begins to tug, and all of you can feel that motion of moving forward, being caught up in momentum, pulling you even faster, the complete pitch black that you are stuck in turns into an accelerated void. That the only two people that can actually see what happens is Mammoth and Kipley as you collide with the end of nothing for whatever this tunnel was. And you see there is that blue sphere that is an actual object within here that was emitting that kind of low blue emanating light. And as you collide with it, the trajectory that you were at changes from forward to up. And you can feel yourselves being pushed through something. It is not something that you would recognize. It does not feel like swimming through water or for those of you that have had the displeasure of falling from a high place, it's not feeling like falling for air. Feels like you are moving through static itself, like a untangible element that words alone cannot describe. And as the inertia builds in the pit of your stomach, your eyesight for all of you is robbed in this moment. And it continues for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, what feels like almost minutes, as you are robbed completely of every sense except for the primary sense that is being interacted with right now, which is touch. As you are holding each other's hands, and you can feel that grip beginning to loosen. And after what feels like it could have been 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe even an hour, feel that sense of self return, and the inertia begins to slow down. As your eyes all open, you recognize the sight that you are looking at as you are looking down. On what is a compassing canopy, a tree line of something that looks different than anything in the ironwoods, than anything in the slumbering thicket, than anything that you have seen before in any of your lives. You look and see that underneath this tree, from the angle that you can actually see this at, there is an entire city. You can see stone buildings risen out of the earth, the majority of which are in a far more sharp and more rudimentary form than any of the buildings that you would see at Paradise Peak. They look almost like they were naturally grown or pulled from the earth rather than built and structured. You look around and you can see terrain that is seemingly not of what you would expect to find. Already venturing into the unknown, there is mountain ranges, clouds. Everything is currently below you as you all begin to fall once more, but this time at a slow descent. Again, you feel that same feeling that you were in that hallway with, where you desire direction, you begin to drift down. And for those of you that have had the pleasure of flying before, whether from an item or for your own physical attributes, it is strange to not have to move your body physically with either arms, legs, or for the command of a broom, and yet still having it glide through space. As you all begin to descend, you see what you can only assume to be the first circle. And also, for those of you with exemplary perception, which is the majority of the group, you see other people floating as well. Floating along the tree, floating through the city streets, floating above a lake that extends outward in front of the city. Conversing with one another, you see children flying and chasing one another. You can see even going by you, as you are beginning to descend, you see a horse and carriage being drawn upwards, going past you, and there's a moment where you see a face of a appears to be younger elven man, confusingly recognizing your arrival and giving you a weird kind of half-cocked smile and awkward wave before he hits the reins, and you see horses that do not move their hooves but continue to pull up in a very strange, effortless, and weightless way. A full horse and buggy up and into a black sphere, a kind of very similar black silhouette to what you saw on the tree when you first entered it. And you can see there are dozens of those scattered across the ceiling, of which seems to be a mix of a starscape with a kind of cloudy overcast in front of it. And that's more than enough yapping for me to go ahead and move you over to the actual map of what you see before you. As you all begin to descend 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet until you are reaching the base of this tree, hovering over the lake and seeing in front of you the city of spires and the overwhelming presence of the grove that you've been searching for. You see that there is a few of those floating individuals beginning to approach you. What would you all like to do? As you can see, a small party, about 3 or 4, one slightly larger than the others, beginning to make their way over.
This is not what I was expecting. This is kind of insane.
Yeah, I didn't really get. I still don't know where we're. I thought we were gonna be in a forest.
I think this is like the forest with a VIP pass. Holy crap, moly.
Okay. We all need to be real cool. Just be cool. And remember, we're not from the future.
Right.
Anything that you guys would like to prepare as you have a brief few moments before the party arrives?
Kimberly wants to cast Hex
Whether you
on
want to cast
everyone.
spells on yourself. Cool. You all die immediately.
No, I'm kidding.
My goodness.
Wait, what did you want to cast?
Blight on the big tree in the middle.
Oh.
That would go so well.
Don't, dude.
Please do.
No.
Please, I can throw away this entire city and all the encounters
I'm
I
done
have
with
inside of it.
Kipling. Let's just cast
Seconds.
Blight.
I would love it. Nothing more.
Yeah, we're done with the 6.
Oh, yeah, no. Cool. So if nothing else wants to be done, you can see the individual ahead of this kind of troop approaching you is a rather tall and kind of large creature that you can all recognize as a species that is from your time, basically extinct. They still do exist, but they are extraordinarily rare and are often kind of seen as either um, a sign of like good luck or fortune, or just simply someone that is risking their life in the wildlands away from society, as they are not exactly built for it. As you all see a female centaur, kind of a larger one at that too, spanning about what looks like to be, in terms of like medium-sized creatures, this should be the large-size category. You can see kind of darker fur and this strange kind of exotic kind of patterns woven into a large cloth she keeps billowing past her head and kind of on the backside of the horse-like body, making this weird kind of like top dress, kind of back horse saddle-like pattern. You can see she has more dark of skin, and the eyes are strangely different color. One of them more orange, and one of them kind of lighter yellow. As she approaches, is clear based on the kind of pattern of which they approach you, that she is the one that's going to be leading this kind of expedition or talk of whatever sort this is going to be. Again, not moving her hooves in any way, which is disturbing to see a centaur just float through space. You see she approaches you and calls out from roughly about 50 feet away. Please, if you may, halt. Who are you to be approaching the great tree? State your names and purpose.
Well, my name is Mammoth. I'm a druid, and I thought this was the Ironwood Thicket.
Mammoth. She turns to the others. And you can see there is a look undoubtedly shared as she looks over, kind of lingering on Kipley for a second before shooting her eyes over to Duradon Cyrus and lingering on Duradon far longer before moving back over to Mustang. And you?
My name is Mustang, and we are this boy's steward. We just want to help him.
You are all part of this child's expedition.
Correctamundo.
Yep.
And why do you seek the great tree?
I was hoping to learn more about druids in general. I was born as an outcast, and I've never been to a grove before, and so I wanted to connect with my people.
What circle do you hail from, child?
Circle. I believe it's the Circle of the Stars.
She raises an eyebrow, dialing in on all of you. And you come here of your own will and accord.
Yeah.
No one forced you to reveal this place's location.
I mean, we got the general location from some other people, but if that answers that.
You. Her eyes shift over to Duradon. Are you not a Savager? You bear their marks and resemblance. What is your purpose here?
Like it was stated, guiding the child to the grove.
Speak not from your microphone. Excuse me, from your webcam microphone, but your actual mic. I cannot hear you from this distance.
Like the child said, or like my companion said, we're here to guide the child to the grove. And she called me a savager.
She did say that you bear the mark of the Savagers. You don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what that means. And he'll look confused for a moment, and I don't know what a savager is. I am a barbarian by skill, if that is what you are referring to.
She gives, without trying to hide it in the slightest, just a look, a semblance of disgust and heavily leaning on distrust from that statement.
Alright, Duradon's talking is done for the day.
She turns back to Mammoth. My name is Winnie Hiatus. I am one of the many leaders of the One True Circle. I sense the arrival of friends and foes alike. Many of you bear marks. A convergence of so many in one group leads to intrigue and concern. You wish to learn about your people, and you bail from from the Circle of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I sense your intentions are true, and you carry a strong presence within you. The Father of the Forest has given your blessing, and shared it with your allies. For that I will allow safe passage into our home. But know their actions reflect upon you. You may be a brother in the circles of our people. But I do not trust these outsiders. You will be heavily monitored while you are here, and you will not leave my presence or eyesight. But we welcome you. You see she bows her head towards Mammoth, kind of leaning deeper down as she does, kind of floats a few inches down so that she's on at least head level with you and not above you, as she was before. Oh, I also forgot to post a picture of Winnie. You can see her in game visuals. You see the others kind of behind her follow in line to her bow towards Mammoth, but are also in a semblance of kind of picking up what words she has just spoken, are beginning to both eye each of you in their individual kind of self, so that every single one of you has been clocked and is being not followed closely, but you feel you are being monitored by at least 1 to 2 people as she gestures for you to follow her and begins to float towards the city.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
guys
So
begin
we're
to
just-
follow.
yeah, follow.
You guys begin to follow, and as you do, she touches down on the ground just outside of the city and does begin to walk about. You can see the city streets themselves is made of natural stone. There's no cobblestone, there's no lanterns. All of the infrastructure that you see around you and architecture is made of natural rock. And as Mammoth is aware, and what dawns on you rather quickly, is that this was made by druids. Not just by hand, but the scale and size of the city, and the scale and size of the tree that is built at the base out of. This must have taken hundreds, if not maybe hundreds and hundreds of years to actually build to the point where it is this large and complex through simple spellcraft. And how they even got the tree to grow to that point, you are unsure of. Because, druidcraft only gets things of that nature, like plant growth, only gets items and creatures to grow to their natural length and not actually past that point. Hastens it, but doesn't affect the quality of it. But she begins to guide you through the city streets, and you can see there is a wide variety of creatures that you see living within there. There are some species that you are uncertain as to what exactly they are. As you go past these kind of more insectoid looking folks, 6 arms and buggy eyes, you go past others and you can see far more lichen-esque features with wolf heads and humanoid bodies. You walk past another and it is a Aarakocra, of which you do still see back in your time and place in Eris, but not common. The species here seems to lean far more towards the animalistic hybrids than the natural humanoid races that are found within Paradise Peak and beyond. And as you begin to follow her through the city, she does kind of fall back so that you are walking next to her, Mammoth, and goes, "Tell me, Mammoth, you said you grew up an outcast from your upbringing. Your grove, where was it located?"
I don't believe it really was a grove. It was just
You grew up in civilization then?
I grew up on a forest island with my mom and my grandpa and my grandma.
And you do not carry their names with you. Simply your
I've always
surname, Mammoth.
I've never really been called anything else. So I don't really, I guess I don't really have a family name.
Tell me, what do you know of the circle of stars?
Well, I know that I'm supposed to stop the world-eating serpent from eating all the worlds. And I know that we draw power from the stars as opposed to nature like many other druids.
See, she raises far more than just her eyebrow as her entire posture kind of changes, turning her full attention and coming to a complete stop as the rest of the druids and kind of folks that are with her do as well. She turns and addresses you, now looking directly at you as she goes, "You speak of the serpent and the duty to destroy him. Where did you hear about this?"
My grandpa told me.
And your grandfather, his name?
His name is Mary.
What else did he tell you about this serpent?
Basically just that he's eating all the stars and things and trying to turn it into eternal night.
And he said that you would be the one to stop him.
Yeah.
You see a look of both concern and understanding on her face, as it is very clear that she recognizes what tale that you were talking about, and is trying to process what you have just said as no, it's actually she's trying to see of whether this is just the understanding of a child, or if this is something that is true as a statement. She stares at you for a few moments before going, "You hail from the circle of stars, and you had no teacher. Your grandfather told you that you were the one that was supposed to end the serpent, and you have already accepted this as your destiny and fate.
Yeah, basically.
Have you seen this serpent before? Do you know what he looks like?"
I've seen him a couple times when I close my eyes and sometimes when I'm sleeping and stuff, but he's just a giant snake thing and he's always talking to me and telling me to come over there, and as he's talking to me he's eating some star or some planet or something.
Spoken to you before.
Yeah.
Do you know, has the creature told you his name? Do you know what this name is?
No, I do not.
She turns and looks at the others. Do they share in your fate?
What do you mean?
Do any of them share in the circular stars in your quest?
Oh, no. It's just me.
Come. I will bring you to see the Elder. She will want to hear of this. I do not know to what extent this is true. I believe what you are saying is at least accepted as truth in your mind, but she will make certainty of if this is reality. For your sake, I hope it is not.
Who are we going to see?
You see she whips around, begins to rapidly walk towards the center of town.
Okay.
Not a horse gallop, but no longer just walking about. And you see she goes and does answer you, Kipley, as you she begins to beckon all of you to follow.
Well, there is many amongst us who form the Council of the First Circle. There is the one who showed us the way to do so. She has been in a slumber for a number of months now, but I am sure your presence will be enough to awake her. Kalahira is her name.
And she's like.
She is what is referred to as the first druid.
Oh, okay.
Is she
She begins
really,
to
or is
whisk
that
you
just for
through
show?
the city.
You ask that, and she turns and gives you like a dirty look before kind of picking up the pace slightly.
Damn. Like, he kind of looks at
I would-
Kipley.
God, I feel like
She
it
does
was
answer.
an innocent question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But all right, let's keep shuffling off the buffalo here.
She does answer you after you ask, after a few moments, and goes,
It would be wise not to repeat that question in her presence.
Why?
Can I not repeat it in your presence either?
Guys, be cool.
It is.
Oh,
Sorry, man. I'm
Sorry.
just curious. You're right.
I
Cool.
am accepting
cool. I'll
this
shut
as
up now. I'm sorry.
negligence at the moment, but to question such authority without knowing her truth is seen as quite rude. We
Oh,
are
no,
the
I'm sorry, I'm
circle
just
that
trying to
all
find her.
circles. We are the circle that all circles sprout from. We are the first ones who are able to harness the primordial energies, and the first ones to commune with nature, branching off into our different pathways. She is the first ever being to have successfully done so, and to show us how to replicate it. We are all her beloved children, and all of those who follow nature know her name. I would ask of you not to forsake it with such statements while you are here.
right. Yeah, no, we'll be good. Kipley
Be
looks
cool, as Mama said.
at Mustang and just telepathically, Mustang would just hear, "They're very pretentious."
He casts her a sidelong look and purses his lips and nods very quickly.
yeah, because you can't do two-way telepathic, or telepathic thoughts, excuse me. You can just say it to them, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be... I love that feature so much, but it is so funny trying to have conversations with that silently. Yeah, she whisks you through town to the point where, as you're walking past all these people, you see there are legitimate, what looks like to be both homes. You can see shops. As you walk past, you can smell at some point. It smells like fresh baked bread from either some sort of bakery or restaurant. And for being a grove, this is advanced to a degree that is hard to kind of fathom. But nevertheless, she pushes forward and brings you to a very top of the actual grove itself. There is one spire that goes not just to the height of the base of the tree, but goes into the tree itself. It looks like the stone meets wood. And you can see as she enters through the base of this kind of, it doesn't look fully like a palace, but it does have palace-like features. It is much larger than the other buildings. The interior is still simplistic in its design, but you can see that there is a long set of stairs leading up to this pathway that turns into wood, where the actual tree itself meets the stone and begins to ascend up inside of the tree itself. It is a kind of a tighter, narrow corridor. She looks like she can somewhat comfortably make it through by just herself. Each of you just kind of have to, if you're still trying to do the pair up thing, stand shoulder to shoulder. All of the other druids with her kind of sit in between each of you so that you're in two pairs, standing front to back to each other. And as you enter, you can see this kind of larger interior opens up. And it is not actually deep inside of the tree itself, but on one of its branches. We can see a terrace overlooks the city, and sitting on a wooden throne with branches kind of cascading out from it, you see vines woven into it to create this kind of very intricate pattern. You see a woman, red of hair, wearing a rather old-looking dress. While it's still of, it looks like more noble repute, it looks like that has not been maintained very well. At the very least, it is like one of those nicer, like we have a nicer suit or dress, but haven't worn it in a very long time, has seen the wears of time, as there is kind of smaller bits of threading towards the bottom, kind of looping off. You can see there are patterns across her face that look like either a mix of either scales or some type of indentation, creating these small kind of like circle-like patterns running past her eyes and down the sides of her face. She is rather tall. You see around about like what you assume to be 6'1", 6'2", and it appears that currently both of her eyes are closed. And while you do see her chest rise and fall, there is no immediate reaction to all of your approach. You can see that as you all begin to shuffle around, Winnie looks towards all of you and gestures for you to quietly kind of gather at the front, where there is an entire, like, there's a table, there is like basic furniture that looks like this is somewhat of either an abode or like a gathering area. And you can see towards the center of the platform, there is a round table, and there's 10 chairs, all kind of spaced out, facing each other. And in the center, you can see carved in a language that none of you can read, is a series of words that Mammoth, you faintly recognize as you think back to when the Circle of Serenity first showed you the symbol for the primordial circle and or the first circle. This isn't the same as that, but it is similar. When he kind of gestures for all of you to wait by the terrace for a moment as she approaches the druid and places a hand on her shoulder, you can hear her beginning to whisper something to her. And you have a moment to yourselves as all of the other escorts that brought you up here are just kind of sitting a little bit on the edge. They haven't actually entered the terrace with you, but you can see they're all watching you with eagle eyes from the actual entrance itself. Some posted up on the wall, some kind of standing semi-menacingly in the doorway, and others taking to sitting down and just waiting to see what happens next. Is there anything you guys would like to do as you have a brief moment to chat amongst yourselves?
What was this lady's name?
Mammoth.
She was addressed as Kalahara. Kariara, excuse me.
How do you spell that?
You
That's
weren't
fine.
given exact spelling, but I can spell it out for you in general chat.
Oh, that's way cooler than how I spelled it.
We're all still good. We're all glad we're here. Moving forward.
Yeah, this Kaliara lady seems pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're all still alive thus far, so it's definitely a plus.
Yeah, she seemed to believe me. She definitely hates you guys, though.
What? Really?
A little extreme, don't you think?
What did we do?
No.
I hope not.
Well, we know what one of us did. I'm not judging you guys, but I'm just saying that they are.
That is very palpable. Yes. Which sucks because I'm just trying to learn.
Cyrus kind of nudges your shoulder, Mammoth, and goes, I actually don't think she brought up anything about Duradon's past, so I don't think she's the one to worry about in terms of that. But she does seem rather safeguarded about what she's willing to share. So
Yeah,
maybe if you
she also
feel safe, we could give you some distance.
If you want. I don't... It doesn't really matter to me.
Well, this is weird, but I'm sensing some uncomfortability with at least us and the centaur. She clearly does not trust the majority of us except for you.
Oh, I see.
Well, that sounds like a her problem.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Well, I'll try to... I'll go with her alone, and I'll try to convince her that you guys are cool.
Well, really?
I think so.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I kind of wanted to go in there, but again, this is your operation, Mammoth. So if you wanna take it alone, we are at your behest.
I kind of wanted you guys to go in there too, but I don't know. What do you think, Cyrus?
Mhm.
You brought it up.
I think I just think we're a bunch of people who aren't exactly connected to nature inside the most natural place from what they're if what they're saying is true. And we also have a past undead. She gestures towards Mustang. Current undead gestures towards Ghibli. We have you know what killer points towards Turton. And then me, half celestial. So there's a lot to unpack.
I didn't know you were celestial.
Is that
Well,
like
I
anything
carry-
like?
I carry mischief inside me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's like celestial?
I think I never actually now I think about it, I've had her under me for years but never checked what she is.
I mean, she's listening.
Yeah, you might want to see a doctor about that.
Yeah, you should definitely
Yeah, ask
check
her.
what's inside of you before you put it in there.
Right?
I don't think you can say that.
Why not?
I suppose none of us can say it then, huh?
I think the pot is calling the kettle black.
Why?
You put things inside you all the time when it comes to well, that's a bad way of phrasing it. You make all sorts of deals without thinking about it.
No, I think about it.
I don't think you do. But now is not the time to argue that point.
Mama, I don't want you to go. I'm afraid you're going to turn into like a big pile of mush in like some kind of cocoon or something. You're going to turn out as like something completely different.
I'm not sure exactly what all that's about. I think I'll be okay. I think they like me. I'm eating. Like they wanted me to meet the first druid. Like already. And I think I don't know. I feel like
I
what?
want them to accept you very badly, very much, as much as the next guy. But I don't want you to confuse their eagerness with acceptance, okay? I've done this song and dance before. Usually when you step on the perimeter and the first thing that the cow boss wants to do is introduce you to the ranch manager because you're in deep shit.
That like literally just happened to us. Like the other day. We went to that other place. Literally within
That's
the
true.
last day. That and what good
Yeah.
is the first draft?
But I don't know. My grandpa said to meet somebody. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. You do remember that?
Is Winnie
you
still
gotta
around?
mention. Winnie is currently yeah, she is still around. She looks like she is in the midst of still trying to whisper. Actually trying to whisper slash also like wake up Kalahara. But she's not moving at the moment. But as you kind of think about that, so you were told that someone was here that would recognize you. You all hear a pair of wings kind of, and you can see a number of figures begin to spill into the actual terrace. And you see one of them lands at the table
a few feet away from Kalhara and just kind of begins to cross their legs and kind of put their fingers between each other while looking around, and then kind of slowly cocks their head over to you and smiles, and you see a bird-like body, an assortment of wings, but a humanoid face. As this strange man kind of stares at you, and this half bird, half humanoid-like body, and smiles. And you can see a few others begin to flit in as well, and begin to converse with one another, as if your presence seemingly was naturally, or they were aware of your presence already. Seems surprised. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt what you were saying. Ryan? If you're talking,
Oh, so I didn't
you
hear
did.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think I was gonna say anything, but yeah. If Kellyar is awake now, then I guess we'll walk up to her.
It looks like she's trying to wake her up, but
Themselves.
she's not budging. Winnie's kind of, again, she's not going to like try and shake or do anything, but she's whispering in her ear and like lightly touching her shoulder, and you can see that she still seems mostly unresponsive. Like she's not even aware of Winnie's presence to begin with. Would you like to approach?
No, I want to ask about Joe Wrangler.
Yeah, would you like to?
Yeah.
You want to ask Winnie about her, or?
Yeah. Or I'll just say like I was supposed to find somebody named Joe Wrangler.
Do you kind of just say this to Winnie in general, or do you say this to the group of people that are beginning to congregate at the table?
To Winnie.
To Winnie? Okay. You kind of interrupt her as she's in the midst of trying to wake her, and she kind of turns around and gives you the strangest look and goes, "I'm sorry, did you just say Joe? How do you know Joe?"
Oh, I don't. I was supposed to. My grandpa said to find Joe Wrangler.
And he gave you a reason as to why?
It was when I was talking to him after. So this, I guess, old god named Malar bit me in half before finding out that I was a druid, and then my grandpa came in and I guess like put me back together, and he was just like, "Hey, on your way to Ironwood Thicket, or when you get there, find somebody named Joe Wrangler." And I said, "Okay." And so now I'm here and I'm trying to find somebody named Joe Wrangler, and it seems like it's a pretty important person.
You see, before she can process what you just said, as you casually drop the guy bitten in half by a god or an old god, you watch as there is a brief kind of shower of sparks at her feet. It almost for a brief second, what looks like a swirling mini galaxy bursts into existence and disappears in the same second that it appeared. And you watch us bursting out onto the terrace, standing between both you and her, is roughly about a 2-foot long creature with a number of eyes, far more than what you think it would normally have. Matte purple and kind of dark-ish fur, and a swirling white tail. And you see, as you say, I'm looking for Joe Wrangler. You hear. As you look down and see this creature before you. And she goes, Joe? What are you doing here?
Crazy.
And she goes and picks him up. And you see he's kind of just like paws reaching out towards you. And just looks very curious in your direction, just kind of like tongue blipping out, eyes. You see some of them eyes are blinking. One of them is closed, and others are just kind of in and out, focusing on you. And she goes, I don't know how your grandfather knows him, but this spirit has been here for a very long time, and we never gave him a proper name, but someone accidentally called him Joe one day, and he started responding to it, and we gave him the nickname.
Did we lose DM?
Okay.
Hello?
Are we? It
Can
seems
you
like
hear
we're
me? God damn it,
Yeah.
did you miss
We're
any
back.
of that?
Well, we missed all of it.
Fuck, what was the
I
last
was
thing
gonna
you
say
heard?
the last thing I heard was, oh well, somebody accidentally called him Joe, and then he started responding to it, and then
Okay.
before you know it, somebody,
Yeah,
and
she
then that's
goes.
when they cut out.
Yeah, she goes. Someone accidentally called him Joe, and he responded to it. And his nickname is Wrangler because he attacks basically anything that moves and tries to tackle. And before she could finish the sentence, I described that the cat leaps from her chest, like kicking off, and fully goes to tackle you. You can claws just kind of wrap around you into almost like a bear hug, and it just puts its chin onto your chest, and you kind of like stumble back, accepting like the good like 15 to 20 pounds of pure you. Eyes sink in, like nod. You can see the tail begins to slightly wag.
Well,
Oh
hello.
God, please tell me you got some of that. I saw the internet icon.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you just see the cat. Okay, good. You see Joe just kind of blink a few times before going. Pring, pring, pring. You see the eyes just blink a few more times before it digs its claws into you to the point where you do feel it kind of begins to pierce skin, climbs up and goes face to face with you. And you watch as all the eyes begin to kind of swirl inside, almost like you were staring into multiple separate swirling galaxies that are all staring back at you, and you can see a infinite number of voidless universes inside of each, all brimming with bright stars, stardust, and just swirling matter that you can just barely begin to comprehend what you're actually looking at before it blinks again, and it's just back to white normal eyes.
What? Okay, I don't get just what just happened, but what? I don't know. I've got a spirit of my own. If you want to meet him, his name's Bruce, and he'll work on getting Brucey in here.
Yeah, you summon Bruce, and you see there's a small similar explosion of stardust as Bruce leaps out of it and does a slow turn of betrayal as it sees the cat on your chest. Just and gives.
I'm sorry.
If a frog could give side eye, you see judgmental side eye coming from Bruce as he just stares at Joe's staying on your chest. As Joe stares back, this kind of like smirk, like grin. But there she is. You see as the little wrangler kind of climbs up around you and kind of puts itself around you like a boa scarf. So like its tail is leaning down one side of you while its head is on the other shoulder, and it just begins to kind of dig until it gets or just kind of goes limp. So the head just kind of falls to one side and dangles, while the tail curls on the other. And you just see Wu so confused. And she goes, "Oh, okay. He normally does not like people, nor has he seemed so friendly in hundreds of years. Noted. The Wrangler seems to like you."
I kind of like him too.
And you watch as you say that, the cat head kind of looks up from underneath your chin, and gives you a little blip before slinking its way down, and going to rest at Kalihara's feet. And kind of curling up at the bottom of hers, you see it closes all of its eyes, and just begins to purr. And as it does, you see a stir of as the chair she's sitting in begins to rock slightly, side to side, and the vines begin to grow outwards, kind of forcing the chair up into a more upright position, And you watch as the vines go from these thin, kind of more accented patterns into a rapid movement and growth, forming into a flower bud that immediately begins to make it from this like tiny throne into this massive seat. And as it begins to bloom and open up, as does her eyes. And as she looks upon you, you see a steely gaze and a very kind of similar pain that you felt back when you were looking into Malar's golden eye.
It's not oppressive as it was before, but you do sense that buzzing. That same sense as someone almost like trying to poke on the inside of your forehead, pushing outwards. And as that sensation builds and her eyes open and stares at you, you see she smiles and greets you. Hello, child of the comet. Hello, father. It is good to see both of you.
Who?
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. As well for Discord issues and time limits, so I can get that hopefully 5 hours of sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and just post a character art in there as well because I don't want to keep you on a cliffhanger until then.
Dang.
Oh yeah, I absolutely did.
Oh yeah.
Was that an oh fuck of recognition,
Yeah,
Ryan?
I knew.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh. Hey, listen.
I'm glad
Kimberly
you're
said she
here.
wants to cast Blight on the tree. I invite her to. If you want to start that boss battle, I got a sheet prepared.
I don't.
Yeah, you think? Mhm. Yeah,
What?
you don't? You don't want to?
No,
You sound like
not
you're about
really.
to
I don't want to fight this
elaborate,
lady.
but no. What? You have no idea what she is. She could be a very nice, weak old lady.
Right.
When I was thinking of like making a very serious NPC to tie you to the First Grove into the Ironwood Thicket, I was like, this is Ryan's first campaign. I've given a lot of serious undertone for this campaign so far. I feel like I gotta put in at least one joke character, or at least
yeah.
one funny name. And when I was thinking of like what a very weird name like a cat spirit would get for just existing in
dude.
this grove all this time, I was like, they probably tried to call it something stupid and it hated it. But like one outsider randomly gave it like that weird cat owner name where they will just call it a person. Like when you get a name that's like its cat's name is like Cleopatra, and you're like, oh, that's a person. Like that's not a cat. Like what you talking about? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it Joe Wrangler. I think that's far enough
Wrangler's
out there
so
that he will have
good.
no idea what. I said that to him in the private session as well when
Yeah.
I took him away after he got bitten. It was just him that heard that name, and I was like, I wonder what Ryan's thinking about my DMing for the 2 weeks that you took you to get to this point. Like, who the fuck's name is Wrangler?
Go Wrangler.
It's a cat.
Yeah,
The cat's
I met
technical
Joe
name. The cat's technical name is Joe, but he responds to Wrangler as well.
Go Wrangler. Back in '67 at Bar Kitty Cat Ranch. He was a good wrangler. That cat. Russell Cadillac, the best of.
He wrangles all types of druids and animals alike. But unfortunately, I would love to continue this because we got juicy lore to delve into. I do have to be up in 5.5 hours. So I will call it there for the evening. Next week we'll get into the Primal Grove and the first